Previously, Jinwoo was battling against the Demon Knights, who were meticulously wiping out his shadow army. He had already slaughtered all of them except for their leader, and was about to finish him off when the leader suddenly admitted defeat and begged for mercy. Jinwoo was dumbfounded upon hearing the leader's voice, so to satisfy his curiosity, he casually unmasked the demon leader. To his surprise, beneath the mask was a beautiful demon girl with vibrant purple hair. Jinwoo was baffled that the demon girl was asking for mercy, considering he had just slain many of her allies. Shouldn't she be furious at him? However, the demon girl explained that the primary duty of the Demon Knights was to protect their lord, and if she survived, her fallen comrades would be happy for her. Jinwoo was a little confused by her reasoning, but he still decided to spare her, and began leaving the scene. However, the girl played dirty. She attempted to stab Jinwoo from behind. Unfortunately for her, she failed miserably as Tusk used his protection skill to guard Jinwoo. Now terrified and fearing retribution, she quickly begged for forgiveness again and apologized profusely. She even offered to do anything to atone for her actions. Jinwoo thought for a moment and then asked if she knew the location of the permit to the next floor of the demon castle. The girl immediately replied that her clan possessed it and assured him that if he spared her, she would gladly offer it to him. Furthermore, she suggested that she could guide him through the upper floors of the castle, as she was well versed in its layout. Upon hearing this, Jinwoo stepped closer and asked if he could trust her. The girl instinctively responded with a yes, but Jinwoo wasn't foolish. He unleashed his overwhelming aura, instilling fear in her. With this gesture, he made it abundantly clear what the consequences would be if she betrayed him. The girl understood the severity of the situation and, without hesitation, vowed to comply. Jinwoo, sensing her sincerity, assured her that if she truly helped him, he would let her go. Meanwhile, on an unknown island, we get a glimpse of a city being ravaged by massive mutant ants. The creatures were mercilessly massacring the population, and the situation was turning increasingly brutal. The scene shifts back to Jinwoo, who was still conversing with the demon girl. He sought answers and hoped to obtain them from her. Based on the information he had gathered earlier, he asked if she ever heard voices in her mind saying, "Kill all humans." She nodded, but added that she also heard another voice, one that instructed her to protect the place they were in. Jinwoo, growing more curious, asked when she first started hearing these voices. The girl replied that it began when she and her clan first arrived at the demon castle. Jinwoo was shocked. He then asked where they had lived before coming to the castle. The girl explained that she originally belonged to the demon realm, but one day mysteriously found herself here. Jinwoo pressed further, asking what she had been doing in the demon realm before arriving at the castle. The girl revealed that they had been preparing for a war against an enemy so powerful that all of demonkind had to unite just to face him. However, as she was revealing this crucial information, she suddenly began to glitch, and the system intervened, preventing her from leaking any more secrets. She lost consciousness and collapsed, but Jinwoo swiftly caught her, allowing her to rest in his arms. Outside the castle, the Hunter Association was holding a critical meeting. The topic of discussion: the mutant ants rampaging through Korean territory. Their power levels were insane. A single ant was capable of causing multiple civilian and hunter casualties. Even A-rank hunters were no match for them. Realizing the severity of the situation, the chairman made a crucial decision. The ant infestation stemmed from the Hunter Association's failure many years ago. If you recall the first episode of Solo Leveling, you'll remember the disastrous attempt to reclaim Jeju Island by Korea's top hunters. These ants originated from there. Over time, they had developed wings, allowing them to traverse from the isolated island to the mainland. If no action was taken, the situation would spiral further out of control. That's why the chairman of the Hunter Association officially ordered the commencement of the fourth raid on Jeju Island. At the castle, the demon girl, whose name was Essel, had regained consciousness and was now being carried by Tusk in his giant arms while Jinwoo walked ahead of them. Jinwoo asked if she was feeling all right, and Essel was impressed by his kindness. He then asked where her base was, to which Essel pointed toward a large castle where her clan resided. When Essel returned home with Jinwoo, her father, Radairu, the leader of the demon clan, was shocked. He shouted at his daughter for bringing such a monster into their castle, as he could sense the powerful shadow army lurking within Jinwoo's shadow. The guards attempted to confront Jinwoo, but he made it clear that he had no intention of fighting. He was only there for the permit, as per his agreement with Essel. Radira knew that Jinwoo had already defeated their strongest warriors and that they stood no chance against him. Feeling helpless, he had no choice but to comply, handing over the permit without resistance. However, after receiving the permit, Jinwoo suddenly grabbed Essel, intending to take her with him. Radira was enraged, but Jinwoo quickly clarified the misunderstanding, explaining that Essel knew the location of all the permits, and he needed her help. Radira hesitated and asked if Jinwoo could guarantee his daughter's safety. Jinwoo firmly assured him, and with that, Essel officially joined Jinwoo on his journey. Essel turned out to be a real lifesaver. With her guidance, Jinwoo swiftly progressed from floor 85 to floor 89. During this time, his shadow soldiers also leveled up significantly. Most notably, Igris and Tank had become as strong as S-rank and A-rank hunters, respectively. However, Essel was slightly disheartened. She had brought many gifts to offer the higher-ranking demon clans in hopes of persuading them to hand over the permits. But Jinwoo had simply wiped them out and taken the permits by force, making her offerings useless. Jinwoo suggested she take the gifts back home, but Essel refused. She explained that, starting from floor 90, the demons would be much stronger, and as a member of a lower-ranking clan, negotiation had always been their only option. Jinwoo then asked her, "If I wasn't stronger than your clan, would your clan have given me the permit?" The answer was obvious, no. In the world of demons, power dictated everything. The weak had no voice. But Jinwoo reassured Essel, promising that he would make her clan the strongest in the demon castle. He also recommended that she return home now and simply provide him with directions for obtaining the remaining permits. However, Essel refused. She wanted to witness Jinwoo's entire journey through the demon castle. Jinwoo was concerned for her safety, but after hearing her determination, he couldn't bring himself to refuse her. Essel then curiously asked why he had spared her clan. Jinwoo simply replied, "Because I like you." Essel was flustered, but before she could react, their journey continued. Essel was right. The demons from floor 90 onward were indeed much stronger, both in power and numbers. However, Jinwoo overcame them one floor at a time and soon reached floor 95. His motivation remained clear: the elixir of life, a special reward granted upon clearing the demon castle. This extraordinary potion had the ability to cure any disease, and Jinwoo was determined to use it to awaken his mother from her eternal slumber. Meanwhile, in the Hunter Association, the guild leader was speaking with Cha Hae-in. He informed her that both of them, along with the other S-rank hunters, had been summoned for the Jeju Island raid. He also explained that special hunters from Japan would be joining them, as Jeju Island was close to Japan's borders, exposing the country to the same threat. This led the two nations to agree on a cooperative effort. On the other hand, Jinwoo had finally reached the 100th floor of the demon castle. Upon his arrival, he witnessed a massive dragon soaring through the sky at insane speed. Riding the dragon was none other than Baran, the demon monarch. For the first time ever, even Jinwoo began to doubt whether he could truly win this battle. Baran's overwhelming presence made him hesitate, an unfamiliar feeling for the hunter. Beside him, Essel was completely frozen, paralyzed by the sinister aura emanating from the demon monarch. Baran wasted no time, summoning his demon army, thousands of elite warriors, each as powerful as an A-rank hunter. Essel panicked, but Jinwoo remained composed. As the army charged forward, Jinwoo finally made his move, unleashing his shadow army. Among his shadows, several stood out as his strongest warriors: Igris, the mighty knight; Iron, the former hunter-turned-shadow warrior; Tank, the berserk shadow bear; Tusk, the almighty mage. These were the generals of Jinwoo's army, each possessing monstrous power. Essel found herself torn, trapped in a dilemma. By all logic, Jinwoo was an invader, an enemy of demonkind. Shouldn't she side with her people? But before she could think further, Baran launched a devastating lightning attack. This wasn't ordinary lightning. It carried a wide-area stun effect, instantly wiping out Jinwoo's entire army in a flash. However, Jinwoo quickly resummoned his shadows. Despite this, the lightning remained a serious problem. If the battle dragged on, the continuous bombardment would deplete his mana. Then, to make things worse, another lightning strike was about to hit Essel. But Jinwoo reacted just in time. He jumped in and shielded her, blocking the attack and saving her life. Jinwoo immediately went on the offensive, targeting the dragon Baran was riding. He launched a powerful slash, trying to bring it down from the sky. But Baran saw through the attack and effortlessly blocked it. Worse, Jinwoo's strike didn't even scratch the dragon. His attack had completely failed. As a result, Jinwoo was sent crashing to the ground. He barely had time to recover before Baran unleashed another massive attack. Jinwoo dodged at the last second, but Baran's lightning continued to chase him. Now, for the first time in a long while, Jinwoo was running for his life. Realizing the threat, Jinwoo ordered Tusk and Igris to assist him. Tusk reacted instantly, countering Baran's lightning with a fire attack. The two forces clashed and neutralized each other, saving Jinwoo from further damage. At that moment, Jinwoo felt relieved. He was glad he had given Tusk the Orb of Avarice. Meanwhile, Igris unleashed a devastating sword strike that finally hit the dragon, forcing it to the ground. Jinwoo smirked. Now, both he and Baran were on the battlefield, ready for a one-on-one showdown. An important meetup was happening between the hunter of Korea and Japan. Both of the parties were dead serious on resolving the ant problem. The Japan team had proposed to send 10 S-rank hunters from their sides to assist in the operation. The plan was to distract the worker ants, which were carried out by the Japan team, while the Korea team was in charge of killing Queen Ant Inerter to prevent this crisis. Jinwoo was rapidly depleting his mana reserves, and Baran wasn't giving him any chance to replenish them. Furthermore, Baran was now targeting Jinwoo's shadow generals, and regenerating such powerful shadows consumed even more mana. However, without them, winning was impossible. Things were not looking good for Jinwoo. Iron, in an attempt to take out Baran, charged at him, but Baran easily dodged and defeated him. Igris then leaped at Baran, attempting to slash him with his sword, but even he failed and was destroyed by Baran's lightning attack. Jinwoo couldn't afford to waste any time, so he tried to sneak up on Baran and stab him with his daggers. However, Baran saw right through his strategy and blocked the critical strike. Jinwoo was stunned. For the first time since his awakening, he had met someone stronger than him. Baran grabbed Jinwoo by the head and lifted him off the ground as if he were a child. Baran was prepared to deliver the finishing blow. But luckily, Jinwoo's shadows attacked Baran's sword, giving him an opening to stab Baran in the chest. Baran loosened his grip on Jinwoo and was agitated by the attack. Now enraged, he unleashed his powerful aura, which even shook Jinwoo. Baran then wielded a second sword, mirroring Jinwoo, who was also dual-wielding daggers. Now the two stood face to face, locked in an intense stare. The battle resumed, fiercer than ever. Both fighters exchanged blows, their blades clashing in a flurry of attacks. Jinwoo activated his critical attack skill, proving just how serious the fight had become. They continued their relentless assault, but suddenly, Baran unpredictably began charging a lightning attack from his mouth. Jinwoo knew that if it hit him at this close range, he was finished. He barely managed to escape the blast, but in the process, he lost both of his blades. He was now unarmed. Baran noticed the opportunity and attempted to decapitate Jinwoo with both of his swords. Somehow, Jinwoo managed to grab both of his arms, struggling to stop Baran from killing him. As he fought back, Jinwoo couldn't help but wonder if Baran had infinite mana, as his relentless attacks showed no sign of stopping. Once again, Baran began charging an attack from his mouth, and this time, Jinwoo had little to no chance of survival. Just as things were looking dire, Essel suddenly threw a stick toward Baran. It didn't even leave a scratch on him, but it was enough to momentarily distract him, just the opening Jinwoo needed. Seizing the opportunity, Jinwoo invested all his points in strength. With this significant boost in strength, he pulled on Baran's arm and completely ripped it from his body. He then followed up with an even more powerful uppercut, tearing Baran's head clean off his neck. Jinwoo had successfully defeated Baran, though some credit went to Essel for her timely assistance. As a reward, Jinwoo gained Baran's soul, and his quest in the Demon Castle was finally complete. Wanting to show his gratitude toward Essel, he told her to inform her father that from now on, her clan, named Radish, was the #1 clan in the Demon Castle. Essel, though appreciative, hesitantly corrected him, saying that her clan's name was actually Radiru. It was definitely an awkward moment for Jinwoo.